I think I write to make sense of the world. I think I process the experiences that I have. And I mean, I think when I write stuff that's funny, I think it's about a response to kind of thinking a lot of people around, a lot of humans seem to be quite mad, and it's about kind of holding up behaviour and kind of going, is it just me or is this quite mental? And actually if you understand it and can replicate it in a script and show it to other people and other people laugh, then you kind of go, right, it's not just me, this is actually quite mad. So I think it's about making sense of experience, processing experience, expressing passion, and wanting to show, I think, on screen experiences that, or emotions that I felt, or experiences that I've had that I think other people will understand and identify with. And I think there is a wonderful thing that drama does, which it ritualises human experience. And so there is that wonderful sense of you're not alone, whether it's grief or joy, that you can watch a drama or a comedy and everybody goes, yeah, I get that, I felt that, and thank you for saying it. It's quite hard for me to talk about what was my very first commission because I was a script editor. So I kind of came in sideways. I trained as a fine artist, was a script reader, then I was a script editor, then I was a head of development. So there was quite a lot of overlap in my work in development with the first writing that I was doing. So I don't think there's this sort of clean, clear, this was the first commission. I mean, I think the first thing I wrote that really made a difference was a play, the only play I've ever written. I'm not a playwright. I wrote a play called Airsick, which was, I think, the first piece that really changed, people's perception of me as a writer. I think that's what elevated me from writing on the long-running shows to people saying, wow, there's a real original voice here, and that really sort of was a springboard to doing the stuff I've been doing for the last few years. I trained as a painter, and I used to paint portraits, and I would say quite often I write portraits, which is very scary for everybody who knows me. No, I think it's, yeah, I think that's the only thing I would really say. I quite often use people around me and use that to inform. I mean, yeah, it's the starting point, I think. I write very itinerantly. I write in bed with my laptop. I write in cafes. I write on trains. I sit on my sofa and write. I don't like the formality of an office. I think immediately there is that sort of oppressive sense of school or homework or, something unpleasurable. I think I write best, not making it precious, not making a big ceremony, just doing it, getting on with it. And people often say about writing, how do you have the self-discipline to do it? And I think it's the opposite problem. I'm like a teenage boy with a computer game, and it's stopping me doing it that's the problem, because I will write and write for 18 hours and someone has to remind me to eat, sleep, wash and leave the house occasionally. It's hard to talk about an average writing day for me. I would have to put it more in the framework of a sort of cycle of a script, because what I would tend to do on a first draft is kind of not come up for air for 5 days. So I will write maybe 18 hours a day, sort of fall asleep almost at my computer, barely sleep, and sort of do that for 5 days and pretty much produce a first draft in about a week. And then completely have got cabin fever and leave the house and go and see friends and do other stuff for a few days and then come back and carry on. That kind of goes in cycles, more like that. I don't have structure. I'm so envious of writers who say, I get up at 6, I write for 2 hours, I take the dog for a walk, I eat breakfast. Like, I don't understand that at all. I think the single best piece of advice is just do it, get on with it, just do it, just write and write every day. Writing is a muscle, and I think people get very inhibited by wanting what they write to be good, and they put the desire for it to be good ahead of the just getting on with doing it. And I think what you have to do is just forget about that, forget the self-consciousness about, what my wonderful line of dialogue would be. And I think you just have to do it and do it and do it for hours every day and not worry about what you're producing, because you really do strengthen certainly those synapses in your brain, and it makes it easier and easier, and it is literally like training for a marathon, that you wouldn't just go out and try and run 27 miles. You'd run to the corner of the road the first day, and then you'd go a bit further and a bit further, and you'd get fitter and fitter. Writing is exactly the same. So I think people who want to write, just get on with it and do it as often as you can.